Sugar, tiny white crystals that seem simple, almost invisible when dissolved in your morning coffee or tea. But every year the world produces more than 180 million tons of it, enough to fill 90 million dump trucks stretching bumper to bumper across entire continents. Behind every spoonful lies one of the largest food production systems on Earth. Giant machines that tower over buildings, endless plantations stretching to the horizon, factories running almost 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, never stopping, never sleeping, and almost nobody sees how it actually works. From harvesting millions of tons of sugarcane using mechanical giants to crushing, boiling, spinning, and refining it inside enormous factories where temperatures reach 200 degrees Celsius. Today we're going inside the massive industry that transforms a simple tropical grass into the sugar used around the world. Let's begin. The plant. What makes sugarcane special? At first glance, sugarcane doesn't look special. It's simply a tall tropical grass growing in warm, humid climates around the equator: Brazil, India, China, Thailand, and parts of Africa. But hidden inside those thick fibrous stalks is something incredibly valuable: sugar. Lots of it. While most crops contain less than 10% natural sugar, sugarcane can contain up to 16%, sometimes even higher in ideal conditions. That makes it one of the most efficient plants on the planet for sugar production. Sugarcane grows 10 to 20 feet tall and requires roughly 12 to 18 months to mature. Once harvested, the plant regrows from the same roots, called ratoons, allowing multiple harvests from a single planting. In places like Brazil, the world's largest sugar producer, plantations stretch for kilometers across the landscape, employing hundreds of thousands of workers and feeding factories that never stop running. Harvest, the mechanical giants. When harvest season arrives, the fields suddenly come alive with giant machines that dwarf human workers. Sugarcane harvesters, some costing over $500,000 each, move slowly through endless rows of plants. Rotating blades slice the stalks close to the ground while powerful fans remove leaves, tops, and debris, leaving only the sugar-rich stalks. A single modern harvester can cut, clean, and collect up to 120 tons of sugarcane every hour. That's roughly 100,000 individual stalks. But harvesting the cane is only the beginning, because the real transformation, the part most people never see, happens inside the factory. Race against time, fresh cane only. Once harvested, sugarcane must reach the factory quickly. Fresh cane begins losing sugar almost immediately after cutting, as much as 1% of sugar content per day if left sitting in the sun. Massive trucks, sometimes hauling 30 to 40 tons per load, transport the harvest from plantations to processing mills. Some factories receive thousands of tons of sugarcane every single day. The largest facilities process over 30,000 tons daily. That's roughly 1,250 tons per hour. Before processing begins, laboratories analyze samples from each truck delivery to measure sugar content, moisture levels, and purity. This data determines payment to farmers and helps optimize factory operations. Preparation, washing and shredding. Inside the factory, the cane is first washed using powerful water jets that spray from multiple angles. This removes dirt, sand, rocks, and plant debris that could damage machinery or contaminate the final product. Next, large cutting machines chop the long stalks into smaller, more manageable pieces. Then industrial shredders, equipped with rotating hammers and sharp blades, tear apart the fibrous structure of the plant, breaking it down into a pulpy mass. This prepares it for the most dramatic stage of the process. Extraction, the crushing mills. Inside the mill, massive steel rollers, each weighing several tons, squeeze the shredded cane with enormous hydraulic force. The cane passes through multiple sets of rollers, usually 4 to 6 stages, each one squeezing harder than the last. Again and again, the fibers are pressed until the sweet juice is extracted. Roughly 70% of the cane's weight is liquid. This creates two products. First, the raw sugar juice, a murky greenish-brown liquid containing dissolved sugar, water, and impurities. Second, the fibrous residue known as bagasse, the dry, squeezed plant material left behind. Purification, removing impurities. The extracted sugar juice still contains many impurities: dust, fibers, waxes, proteins, and organic particles. To remove them, factories add lime, calcium hydroxide, a white alkaline powder. The lime reacts with impurities and causes them to separate from the liquid, forming visible clumps that float to the surface or sink to the bottom. After filtration, usually through large rotating drum filters or pressure filters, the juice becomes much clearer, shifting from murky brown to a translucent amber color. At this stage, it's called clarified juice. Evaporation, concentrating the sugar, 9-10-10-20. The purified juice enters large evaporators, massive vessels where heat slowly removes water from the liquid. The juice passes through multiple evaporation stages, sometimes 4 or 5 separate chambers, each one progressively hotter and under lower pressure. This multi-stage system conserves energy by reusing steam from earlier stages to heat later ones. As moisture evaporates, the juice thickens into a dense golden syrup, similar in consistency to honey. By the end of evaporation, the liquid has lost roughly 80% of its original water content. This syrup contains the concentrated sugar needed for crystallization. Crystallization, growing sugar crystals. The syrup enters large vessels called vacuum pans, where the magic happens. Tiny seed crystals are added to the syrup. These microscopic starter crystals provide a surface for sugar molecules to attach and grow. Under carefully controlled temperature and pressure, the sugar molecules begin organizing into crystal structures. Slowly, over several hours, sparkling sugar crystals begin to form, growing larger and larger. The mixture becomes a thick slurry called massicuity, a blend of sugar crystals suspended in molasses. The mixture then enters high-speed centrifuges that spin at 1,000 to 1,800 revolutions per minute, using centrifugal force to separate the solid crystals from the remaining liquid molasses. Drying and packaging. The sugar crystals emerging from the centrifuges are still slightly moist, containing about 0.5% to 1% moisture. So they pass through drying systems where hot air, usually around 100 to 120 degrees Celsius, removes the remaining moisture. After drying, the sugar reaches less than 0.05% moisture content, essential for preventing clumping and ensuring long shelf life. Automated packaging machines then weigh and fill bags at incredible speed. Some packaging lines can fill hundreds of bags every minute. Small consumer bags, industrial bulk bags, or massive 50-kura sacks for commercial use. Quality control systems continuously monitor crystal size, color, moisture content, and purity to ensure consistent product quality. From endless plantations covering thousands of hectares to high-tech factories processing millions of tons annually, producing sugar is far more complex than most people realize. Behind every spoonful lies a massive network of farms, machines, chemistry, and logistics, all working together around the clock to transform a simple tropical grass into one of the most widely used ingredients on Earth. 180 million tons per year. That's the staggering scale of the global sugar industry, an industrial operation so vast it operates on every continent except Antarctica. And now you know exactly how it's made, from field to factory to your kitchen table. That's the power of human curiosity and ingenuity combined with nature. Exploring the how behind the what is fascinating, and if you enjoyed this, check out my other videos breaking down everyday processes. Each one peels back the curtain on the world you thought you knew. Stay curious. Never stop asking how things really work, and remember that the story behind every object is often bigger than we imagine. Now that you know how sugar travels from cane to kitchen, look at your pantry differently. Hit like, subscribe, and share because curiosity is contagious. Thank you for watching and welcome to a community of explorers who love to understand the world. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep enjoying the small things.